trail the Eagles in the NFC East, but the only difference is the Eagles' tie against the Bengals. Now, Michael Vick is still with us. Michael, do you expect Dallas to bounce back and win the NFC East?
I expect Dallas to bounce back and win this weekend. East, I can't say right now because my Eagles are going to definitely make a push. If the Eagles get Alshon Jeffries and Deshaun back healthy, then they're just as good as the Dallas Cowboys, and they might be a little better than the Dallas Cowboys now because defensively they still have Darius Slay and they still have Fletcher Cox, two guys who can change the dynamic of the game. Any game. Offensively for the Dallas Cowboys, they still got all their firepower, and Dak is playing some of his best football. But on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be a struggle every week, I think, until somebody steps up and say, I'm tired of going through what we've been through. We can get better. You know, I'm going to be the guy who takes the onus and makes, you know, this defense better in some way, shape, or form. Until that happens, I can't see Dallas winning the NFC East. I see Carson Wentz stepping up and playing a lot better. I see the Philadelphia Eagles riding the wave that they've been on, you know, since last week and maybe pulling out a couple games. But, you know, in terms of the Dallas Cowboys, a lot of things are going to happen right, going to have to happen right for this team in order for them to win the NFC East convincingly. And I think it's going to start with beating the Philadelphia Eagles, which is their only competition in the division. So, you know, a bunch of things has to happen. I think the Dallas Cowboys got to take it 1 week at a time as well as everybody else in the NFC East and just see where the chips fall.
I agree with you. I just think the Eagles, Skip, if the Eagles can just get a few guys back, Alshon, D-Jack, Jalen Reagor, those are your top receivers, and they're out. And now Peters is injured. Lane Johnson went out. Skip, remember, Peters was supposed to play guard for Barrett Brooks. Barrett Brooks get hurt, so now he's out. So now you're shuffling your offensive line. And when you do that, I think Dougie P needs to do a better job. I understand you want to run scat protection, which is 5 guys into the route. But when your offensive line is beat up and your quarterback is starting to hear footsteps, you cannot. Sometimes you're going to have to leave your tight end in. If you look at last night, they left Gronk in a lot so he can block, so they can protect, because Wentz is turning the ball over, which is putting your defense, because make somebody drive the length of the field on your defense. Don't give them short fields. And the Cowboys, I agree with you, Mike, on this also. The Cowboys should beat the Giants. The Giants aren't very good. They are players away from being good. And so this is a game when I play, I'm about to get healthy. I don't know what my numbers are going into the game, but I can assure you they'll be a lot better when I leave the game. If you're a defensive player, I'm going to get healthy on the Giants. I ain't got no interceptions, I'm going to get me one. I ain't got no forced fumble, I'm going to get me one. Oh, I ain't had a double-digit tackle game, I'm about to get me one of them. As an offensive player, I'm going to continue on the pace. Cowboys' offense is fine. They just got to stop turning the football over, because if you turn it over and your defense can't give it back to you, you're harming yourself. But, Skip, the Eagles are going to be right here at the end, because the Eagles have something the Cowboys don't have right now. They have fight. Your guys won't fight on defense. The Eagles will fight you. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Malik Jackson, Darius Slay, those guys will fight. Your guys lay down.
True. I told you I have lost all faith in my team, just as I believe it's lost most of its faith in itself. I am with both of you. The Eagles right now, even without Alshon, without Deshaun, they're just better. They're better because of what Michael Vick just said. Darius Slay he just might be the best corner in football. Fletcher Cox is a monster. He changes the game. You can just watch him on TV and you just see what happens. Things start happening. He disrupts.
And Brandon Graham against your 2 undrafted guys.
I just lost Tyron Smith probably for the year, all-pro left tackle.
Yep.
I got 2 undrafted free agents playing both tackles.
You do?
For the foreseeable future.
Yep.
I'm not even sure Lyle Collins will be able to come back, and he was my best lineman last year.
Didn't they put him on?
Yeah, but I'm not sure about his condition. They're questioning how hurt he might be for the future.
Right.
So what what do I have to love? Well, as Michael said, if Dak gets desperately behind, he's unbelievable. He's great. When he's hopelessly behind, he is all-time great. Does he close deals? He hadn't been closing a whole lot lately. My team should be 0-4. The defense is simply the worst defense in the history of this franchise back to its expansion year in 1960. I can just show you the stats. They're the worst defense in all of football. And they're also beat all to hell. They've lost too many of their stalwarts, and they didn't go out and get Earl Thomas, as I pounded on this table for them to, just to have one made man in the secondary, somebody the opponents feared. There's nobody anybody fears. And in the end, here comes a division rival in the Giants, who I think might be a little better than Dallas right now. And you laugh at that, and I say, show me. Because my offense is explosive.